A woman accidentally gave birth in her best friend's car. The best friend's husband sent her a message saying thanks for destroying his upholstery. One of them handled this with grace. The other one was a real piece of work. See if you can guess which is which. So, a bit of context. I was 38 weeks pregnant, my wife had just driven out to help her brother for the afternoon, and my friend Alice offered to come spend the day with me so I wasn't alone. It was genuinely lovely. We watched movies, hung out. I had been uncomfortable for ages at that point in the pregnancy, so even though something was off, I didn't think much of it. At some point, we both realized this was the real deal. I called my wife, we thought about waiting for her to get back, but things started moving very fast, so Alice drove me to the hospital. We did not make it to the hospital. She had the baby in the car. A full, living, breathing human being arrived in the vehicle. I've heard of emergency situations, but this one takes the crown. The baby didn't care about anyone's schedule or upholstery. The baby had somewhere to be. My daughter is perfect. I had some complications that are now resolved. My wife is having a hard time processing having missed the birth, which I completely understand, but we have a wonderful little person to focus on. What I was not prepared for was Alice going completely silent on me. 2 days after everything happened, I sent her a warm message thanking her and told her, lighthearted but sincere, to please send me a bill for having the car cleaned. She took a long time to reply and then just liked the message. I messaged again, nothing. Then her husband got in touch to tell me not to message her anymore, congratulated me on the baby, and made sure to thank me for wrecking the car. Thanks for wrecking my car. This man. His wife just helped deliver a baby in a moving vehicle, and his first instinct was to send an angry message about the seat. I need you to sit with the priorities on display here. I knew Alice well enough to know this wasn't her. She's warm and kind, and this was completely unlike her. I reached out multiple times with serious, sincere messages. Then she blocked me. I felt awful. About the car, absolutely. We were planning to pay for everything from the moment it happened, but also for what she went through. Being the person in that situation, driving someone in active labor, delivering a baby on the side of the road, that is a lot. I should have been more explicit about acknowledging that from the very first message. I sent another message making it clear that I wanted to cover everything, every last penny, whatever the car needed, and that I was genuinely sorry for what I had put her through. I reached out through a mutual friend. I tried to get someone to check on her. Then, a few weeks later, she showed up at our door. I had just stepped out when she arrived. My wife called me. I got back, and the moment I saw Alice, I burst into tears. She did too. We talked for a long time. She had been having a hard time processing everything, which was completely fair. She said that initially she hadn't even felt angry at me, just overwhelmed and shaken, but her husband had been furious from the very start and had been pushing his feelings onto her for weeks until she slowly started absorbing them.
He had convinced her she should be angry. He had been at her about it constantly until she started to feel it too. And then when I kept reaching out, it was just too much in that moment. She said that at some point she realized she wasn't actually upset with me. She was upset at the situation. She told her husband to stop bringing it up because she was sick of it. He convinced his wife to be angry at someone who had a medical emergency in her car. He worked on this project for weeks until she got there, and then she had to tell him to stop. This man was more invested in being upset about his seat than his wife was about delivering a baby in it. The scoreboard here is embarrassing. The car was already fixed and paid for by the time she came by. The front seat had taken the worst of it, thankfully. She laughed and said she was proud to be such a big part of our daughter's birth story. That one sentence gave me more relief than anything else she said. I'm just going to keep being her friend. Her husband still doesn't like me and makes no effort to hide it. I can't do much about that. But Alice and I are okay, and that's what matters. All right, here is the breakdown. The gesture to pay for the car was right. The follow-through of sending the second message to spell it out more clearly after realizing the first one landed wrong was also right. Showing up for a friend in need and then doing the work to repair things afterward, even when it was uncomfortable and she was being blocked, that is how you handle it. But the very first message being lighthearted about a car that just hosted a birth? I understand the impulse, but read the room. The first message should have led with the serious acknowledgement of what Alice went through, then mentioned the car, not the other way around. When someone has just been through a traumatic experience because of you, even unintentionally, you open with the human and close with the logistics. If it were me, I would have simply waited until the hospital to give birth, as is traditional. I don't know why people insist on improvising. The hospital has beds and professionals, and none of them will get mad at you afterward. But hey, babies don't come with instruction manuals, and apparently neither does timing. Drop your wildest "something went completely off script at the worst possible moment" story in the comments. I want to hear everything. Hades, done.